Ladies and gentlemen, I now have the honor to invite the Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab to kindly come forward and address the conference.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable, revered Chief Justice of Pakistan, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of Pakistan, Honorable Chief Justices and Judges of the Superior Judiciary, my fellow Chief Ministers of Sindh, Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Honorable Federal Minister for Law and Justice, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is both a profound privilege and an absolute honor to address this distinguished gathering at the National Conference on Prison Reforms, convened under the guidance and leadership of the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan. I commend the Law and Justice Commission of Pakistan for bringing together all stakeholders to deliberate upon an issue that lies at the very heart of justice, human dignity, and rule of law. Allow me at the outset to pay tribute to the Superior Judiciary of Pakistan for its unwavering commitment to constitutionalism, the protection of fundamental rights, and its continuous efforts to improve the administration of justice. I must also appreciate and admire the first woman Chief Justice of Lahore High Court, who has been relentlessly working to deliver speedy justice and end the decades-long backlog. And Madam, I really commend you for that. This is no mean feat, so hats off to you. I stand before you today not only as a Chief Minister, not only as a Chief Executive of the biggest province of Pakistan, but I stand before you as someone who has looked at prison walls not merely from the outside, but from behind them. And the reforms that I will be talking about today stem from my own personal experiences. I have lived them personally, experienced them firsthand, and that experience, Your Honor, changed me forever. It changed the way I think about justice. It changed the way I understand the responsibility of state towards those in custody. Most importantly, it reminded me that a prison sentence should never become a sentence against human dignity. Your Honor, every reform that we have introduced carries a memory. Every policy that I'm making today carries a lesson learned behind the prison walls, and I did not want these experiences to remain my personal story. I wanted them to become institutional reforms so that no prisoner, regardless of who they are or where they come from, has to endure avoidable suffering. When we speak of prisons, we must look beyond walls, bars, and security arrangements. A prison is not merely a place of confinement. It is a reflection of the values of a society and the effectiveness of its justice system. The manner in which we treat those in our custody ultimately measures our commitment to justice, to fairness, to compassion, to respect, and to human dignity. Punjab operates one of the largest correctional systems in Pakistan, comprising 45 prisons that currently house more than 69,000 inmates, close to 70,000, against an authorized capacity of approximately 39,000. Yet the challenge is not just overcrowding. Nearly 3/4 of our prison population consists of under-trial prisoners. The reality reminds us that prison reforms cannot be pursued in isolation. It must go hand in hand with broader reforms across the criminal justice system. For me, however, these reforms, as I just said, are not merely administrative decisions. Every reform, as I said, carries a memory. Every policy has a human story behind it. My story, my own story of thousands. Every improvement reminds me of something I witnessed or experienced myself firsthand. I introduced emergency call buttons across Punjab and alarm bells, panic buttons inside prison cells throughout Punjab. Today, every prison cell is equipped with these emergency systems so that no inmate is ever left without a way to call for immediate assistance. And the assistance comes. When someone calls for help, help must arrive. Human life cannot wait behind locked doors. A prison sentence should never mean abandonment, including my opponents, regardless of the offense they've committed, should be deprived of basic respect, of basic dignity, of basic cleanliness, of basic facilities. We have made sanitation, clean washrooms, proper ventilation, better accommodation, and access to essential hygiene supplies a priority.